the Bulawayo Province Chair, Ms. Tendai Masotcha, in connection with the abduction and torture of Mr. Tawanda Muchehiwa. So our press conference today is going to be led by the Secretary of the Ad Hoc Committee, Mr. Chamisa. And so without further ado, I'm going to defer proceedings to him right away.
July 2020, Tawanda Muchehiwa University was abducted before daylight. Tawanda Muchehiwa is a nephew to prominent journalist Biti. When he was abducted, state security agents were sitting in a white BMW car belonging to his uncle. He was also in the company of the MDC Alliance, chair lady for the Women's Assembly, Tendai Masotcha. The abduction of Tawanda caused a stir in both the social and traditional media, and speculation was rife that he had been abducted as a bait to get to journalists who was also wanted by the police. Social media speculation made linking Tendai Masotcha to the alleged abduction of Tawanda Muchehiwa. The MDC Alliance, after following due process requirements of our constitution that govern disciplinary or investigative action against the National Council member, then established an ad hoc committee made up of Honorable Cecilia Chinandoana, our chairperson, myself, and Advocate Kulu, to conduct an inquiry into the allegations against Tendai Masotcha. The committee has since completed its work, and following its summary findings, which the party had committed to make public. In conducting this inquiry, the following methodology was used. The committee examined all documents relevant to the case, including media reports, court records, print, audio, and video material. In addition, the committee engaged and interviewed all stakeholders, including the family and legal representatives of Tawanda Muchehiwa. Tendai Masotcha was also interviewed extensively, and other members of the party. The committee also considered written submissions from various stakeholders mentioned above, including Tendai Masotcha and the party at provincial level. It was the committee's sense that in the absence of a complainant and in the normal conduct of business, the matter will be ended here. However, notwithstanding the fact that there was no formal complaint to the party against our member by the family of Tawanda or anyone for that matter, the party saw it prudent in the interest of transparency and accountability, and also to ensure that any accused person is given an opportunity to be heard. The party therefore resolved to investigate the matter anyway. As alluded to, Tendai Masotcha was arrested at the same time She informed the committee that after her release from police custody, she was also subsequently picked up and or abducted by other persons, and where she was then physically abused. The committee was unable to independently verify the abduction of Tendai Masotcha and confirmed their arrest. Only unchallenged evidence before the committee was their sworn affidavit and a medical report indicating injuries sustained as a result of her abuse. A representative and relative of Tawanda, interviewed by the committee, indicated that there is no evidence to link the abduction of Tawanda to Tendai Masotcha. In their own words, they say everything is circumstantial. The committee reviewed an audio of the conversation between Tawanda Muchehiwa and an unnamed person who was working from the print shop close to where both of them were arrested. The unnamed gentleman indicated to Tawanda that state agents will be aware of his movement and will be getting his materials printed at that shop. The person in the print shop also stated that there are people who came to view whatever material that were being printed. And he said that he knew one of them was his friend and that he worked for the CIO. It appears, therefore, on the face of it, that state agents had put Tawanda under surveillance over a long period of time and before he had even met with Tendai Masotcha. This evidence was also corroborated by the written submissions of Tendai Masotcha. It is the sense of the committee, based on the evidence before it and on a balance of probability, that Tendai Masotcha, Tawanda Muchehiwa, and Mduduzi Matutu were victims of a well-orchestrated, state-sponsored intelligence operation designed to thwart the 31st July protests by scaring off citizens from peacefully expressing themselves. Having considered the evidence before it, the committee then made a determination. After considering this evidence, the committee concludes that there is no Impala car rentals as the evidence of those who hired the vehicles that carried out the abduction. Tawanda's release was only forced on the abductors by a court order. It is also common cause that Mduduzi Matutu, a respected and senior journalist, was wrongfully hunted and haunted like a common criminal. His only crime was practicing his trade. The state must live up to its obligations as set out in Section 219 of the Constitution and investigate and bring to book Tawanda Muchehiwa's abductors and tormentors. We also demand justice for Joanna Mamombe, Nesai Maroa, and Cecilia Chimbiri. We demand justice. We continue to demand that the state bring back Itai Mtamara. We further demand an investigation into the extrajudicial killings of Mazwin Love and Lavenda Chuwaya. The state must stop abusing the rights of all human. The MDC Alliance remains committed to the fight for freedoms, constitutionalism, and the security of persons. I thank you.
Right, members of the press, I'm going to open up the floor to a few questions. If you may kindly just put up your hand and you can direct your questions to the committee secretary, Mr. Jameson Timber.
So my name is Blessed Mutama from Hutchinson TV and Radio. You said that before you were presented a signed affidavit of injuries sustained by Tendai. Why did she not make a report to the police that she had been abducted and subsequently physically abused? If so, that abduction happened.
Are you asking whether or not Tendai Masotcha made a police report?
Yes.
Or she did not indicate to the committee whether a police report was made?
But in your investigations, I'm sure you would have asked that question because you were investigating this matter. And it would be vital to know whether she reported that abduction, whether there was any report linking it to any abduction whatsoever.
Our investigation was centered on investigating Tendai Masotcha's role in the abduction of Tawanda Muchehiwa, not Tendai Masotcha's arrest and or abduction. So our interest and our focus was determined by our mandate. And that was our mandate. You do ask a valid question, but I believe that you can direct that question to Tendai Masotcha.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Sophia Mapranga, I'm a freelance journalist. My question is, you mentioned that you are demanding justice, but it means that precedents before you have been demanding justice for Itai Zamara, you continue to demand justice for the extrajudicial killings that you mentioned. How are you going to pursue and ensure that justice is served?
We are committed to continue to put pressure on the regime. I am sure you are aware that we are engaged in an armed struggle, against a brutal dictatorship. We will not stop putting whatever form of pressure that we can, including exercising our rights in terms of Section 59 of the Constitution.
Next question. Yes, sir.
Committee Secretary, we understand that Tendai Masotcha was a recommendation for suspension by the MDC Alliance in our province. So what is the party going to do in terms of suspension?
Tendai Masotcha is a member of the National Council of the MDC Alliance. The disciplining of a National Council member of the MDC Alliance is the preserve of the National Council, not a provincial structure. What the National Council has received from the Blair province was a request for an investigation, and they did so following our party procedure.
Thank you, sir. Are there any further questions? Mr. Mhlanga?
Sure. I do understand that during these investigations, she was under a suspension. Has that suspension been lifted? Subsequent to your findings?
I am not sure that that is the correct position. The National Council, which is the body empowered to suspend the Tendai Masotcha, has not effected any suspension.
So she was being investigated while she was effectively a National Council member.
Yes.
And that did not in any way jeopardize the investigations?
No, not at all. The investigations are done at a national level because she's a National Council member. And in the event that this ad hoc committee had found out anything untoward done by Tendai Masotcha, then it would have gone to this next stage of our disciplinary procedures, now going to our National Disciplinary Committee.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Is that best practice that somebody who is being investigated is continuing with their role, more so in the National Council?
Yeah, what we were doing is an inquiry. And as I indicated, post the inquiry, if the inquiry indicates that there is a potential breach of the code, okay, then a suspension would be effected because we are now going through our disciplinary procedures. This was an inquiry, an investigation, and an investigation would ordinarily lead to either a disciplinary process or an ending of the processes, like what would happen now.
Yes, sir.
Oscar from News Bureau. One of the things that came out during the Masotcha inquiry is that the party appears to have been infiltrated by the ZANU-PF, and Masotcha was actually one of them who was being presumably said to have infiltrated the party. And also, this has been also evidenced by some of your party officials who have defected to ZANU-PF. From your investigation, from this inquiry, would you say your party is safe from infiltration?
Let me answer the last question first. No political party under the sun is safe from infiltration, whether it is the Democratic Party in the United States or the Labour Party in the UK, the ANC in Africa, or the MDC Alliance in Zimbabwe. No party is safe from infiltration. Going to your first question, you said that during the inquiry, it was established that that is not fact.
No, this is also the thing that came out.
But did it come out of this inquiry, or it came out of some media commentary?
I mean, it's not a
Because-
narrative which was obtaining.
Yeah, that's speculation, isn't it? During the inquiry, the issue of infiltration never came up. What we were concerned about is whether our member played any role in the abduction of a citizen, because we take that very seriously. This is why we had to do this investigation.
Right, I'll take just 3 more questions. If you haven't asked a question yet, please put your hand up. And if I may just kindly request journalists to just confine themselves to 1 question so that we can allow the committee secretary to answer and also give others an opportunity. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Sorry, if we can just deal with that, Matt.
Sorry.
It's-
because
Yes.
it's interrupting the audio.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mine is a bit of a digression from what has been discussed here. But I want to find out if the MDC has some form of confidence in the electoral process at the moment. And how do you actually see your chances of making it in 2023? Should you be able to participate as a party? Thank you.
We've put our concerns on the table with respect to the electoral environment. We've gone beyond just putting our concerns on the table, but we've come up with a comprehensive policy paper called PRICE, which identifies all the key areas that we would want dealt with in order to create an environment for a free, fair, and credible election. PRICE includes both legislative and non-legislative reforms that needs to be embarked on. So yes, we are not satisfied with the environment as it is. This environment is skewed in favor of the incumbent, and a free and fair election is well-nigh impossible under these conditions.
Thank you. Just 2 more questions if there's anyone who hasn't asked. If not, Mr. Mhlanga.
I just wanted to find out, there are concerns that the MDC Alliance is becoming what it is fighting, that you're becoming the beast that you're trying to fight in terms of violence and abductions. This is why we see you now investigating your own in terms of abductions. Are you morphing into a monster?
Blessed, what we are actually doing today is a demonstration that we behave differently and that we are an alternative. We have put this regime under so much pressure to be able to do the basic things that we are doing now. An allegation is made that there has been this conduct by either our member or a state agent, etc. Actually go through the process of investigating it and going public on it. This demonstrates our difference from the way in which the government operates. This is why even in this report, we are making a demand to government to actually investigate the various abductions that have taken place over the years. We cannot be morphing into what we are actually demonstrating should not be done.
Thank you. I'll just take one more question. Costa, you're the lucky questioner.
The Supreme Court recently ruled, if I'm wrong, you just correct me, ruled that you're not a legal persona. On what basis do you still regard yourself as a political party?
I think you're mistaken, Costa. Let me take you back to, I know the judgment that you are making reference to, and this is the judgment by Justice Chitapi. Justice Chitapi made a finding that the MDC Alliance is a political party in terms of the Electoral Act. Okay. However, there's nothing that has been put before me, which ordinarily would be, say, the constitution of the organization, to show that it is a legal persona, meaning it can sue or be sued in its own name. But it is a political party. So the question of whether the MDC Alliance is a political party or not is decided. It is a political party. So I don't want you to confuse that. What we then had done was to appeal against certain findings by Justice Chitapi in his overall judgment, because there are several other issues that he raised. We appealed against those, okay, to the Supreme Court. Okay. That matter was struck off the register because of certain technical issues, but being struck off the register means that it can come back, okay, by either an application to the court itself to make sure that it is reinstated, or a fresh application that can put before the court. You are following a lot of political propaganda to be told that this is what the Supreme Court did. It didn't do anything like that.
Okay, so all that remains, ladies and gentlemen, is for me to thank you very much for your time in coming to be with us during this press conference. For purposes of accountability, we've made copies which should be arriving shortly of the report, so that as press officers, you've got copies of the same. I also undertake that a copy of the report will be posted and published on our party website by close of business today, so it will be available to everyone. So thank you very much. That marks the close of this press conference, so thank you very much.